So I think that I was telling you about how I just started back to college. I got a job at the mall and I was dating Dave and I find out that I'm pregnant and I tell Dave and basically he wants to get married right away. He wants to because he's in the military. He feels that he can provide the best for his baby and get the best health care for the baby right away. So, okay, I didn't want to jump into it. Dave's not the first person to ask me to marry him. I've been asked by multiple people, but I would not commit to a marriage with someone unless I feel that it's someone that I feel safe submitting to. And I've never felt that safety with anyone, but with Dave, I felt that. I felt like he would never ask me to submit to anything that I couldn't submit to, if that makes sense. I grew up Christian and, in the Baptist household. I was away from that, but I don't know. My goal was to get married. That is truth. My goal was to get married, and so he was asking me to marry him, and it was a whirlwind of everything. It was, it happened to be on his birthday that I asked him to get a pregnancy test. That was his birthday, and the first birthday that we were celebrating together in our relationship. And then, I made him sit down and talk about everything for 4 days, and I don't know. On the fourth day, he convinced me to go get married. It was a Friday, and we go to the courthouse and we do it. And well, we were planning on doing it, and then he got CQ duty, which is like a 24-hour duty where he has to be on guard for 24 hours and he can't be gone. So he had to do it on his lunch break. And then he got back and he was like, I just got married. And then they were like, you gave him CQ duty when he got married. And it was crazy. He got to come home, so that was cool. But I mean, it was like a normal day, honestly. So yeah, it was kind of crazy. After I got married, I started calling my family. I started calling his family and letting them know, and they wanted a wedding. They were like, "Aren't you gonna have a wedding? You're supposed to have a wedding." And I was like, "Well, I guess." So I decided to put together a wedding, and I knew from one of my friends. She was an older lady that was friends because I didn't have the best mom, so I looked up to older ladies and I just would absorb anything that they would teach me. And one was like, you can have a wedding really, really cheap, by going to the everything's a dollar store and there's all kinds of stuff you can do. And so I wanted like a hippie outdoors wedding, which was really kind of funny. But so we start putting together a wedding, and he is leaving to go to war in December. So he has a time of leave where basically you're in the army, and you usually live away from your home state. And so before you go to war, they send them to their home state for like a week. And it's called leave. And so he had a period of leave in November, and we decided to put the wedding at that time. So I started wedding planning and I started sending out invitations. And my goal with this wedding was to spend as little money as possible. Little money as possible. But I love the idea of lavishness and stuff. I mean, I just do. So I did grab my friend, my military wife girlfriend, and we went to wedding shops and I tried on all kinds of beautiful wedding dresses and pretended like I could afford a nice wedding dress. In my wildest dreams. But what I ended up doing was ordering my dream wedding dress, which I loved it. It really was my dream wedding dress off of eBay for $60. And y'all, I loved this wedding dress. I loved it so much. I loved my wedding dress. But that's all we put into it. I told my dad that I wanted an outdoor wedding and I wanted it at this park that I knew that you could reserve for weddings because it's been done before. This really pretty park where we lived, and or where my family lived. And So my dad told me, yeah, I'll reserve that park for you. And so I thought that, that would be secure. And I told him, let me know if it's going to cost any money. He's like, no, it won't cost any money. That park will be reserved for you. And so I was like, okay. So I started sending out invitations to everyone. And I have a really good friend. My dad's wife at the time, her brother is a really cool gay man. And back in the day, I used to hang out with him, and he taught me how to cook all kinds of stuff. And he's just a gourmet cook. And I don't know why I even mentioned that he's gay, but anyway, he comes up to me. He's like, I guess he's my uncle. His mom's married to my dad, right? And he says, for a wedding gift, I want to make you a wedding cake. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so honored. Thank you so much. And this man made me the most beautiful cake for free. Didn't charge me anything. I'm so blessed. But anyway, I really did pull off this wedding for little to nothing. But I consider we got married. My marriage license says that we got married in September. So I consider that for our anniversary. I think that that's our anniversary. This was just the wedding for the family. So, yeah, there's that. But yeah, I did go to the wedding places and try on different dresses, which are so pretty, and I loved that experience. It was just so awesome. And going to the mall and getting my ring size, it was a tiny, tiny little diamond, and I don't know, it was just such a wonderful, magical time and experience, And it really was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed getting to come home and see my family and to introduce everyone to Dave. And everyone liked Dave compared to Zach. They were just like, oh my gosh, Dave is so much better. I'm like, I know. But yeah, it was really funny because, like, I'm hippie as outdoor wedding, and he's like all military. He wore his military greens. So we are just so opposites in so many ways. And because we were already married and this wasn't an official wedding, I had my friend Rory to be the one to, like the preacher guy. And he went online and got a little ordained online, like you can do nowadays, like you could do back in the day. But yeah, he went and got that, and he didn't use the Bible because I wasn't about the Christian God back. I wasn't. I had a hatred for Christians at this time, and it's not a good thing, but I did. And he used Plato, a book of Plato's works, and he quoted from that, and it was a really cool ceremony. But yeah, it was a couple months after. Because, yeah, Rory and Dave actually became really, really good friends. Rewind a little bit, back whenever Dave and I had just been dating for a couple weeks. Rory, he would come to visit me in the state because his family had money, and he was able to, he wanted to move to the state, and he did end up moving to the state. But Rory became really good friends with Dave. Rory and Zach never got along. Not once. Zach was absolutely certain that, me and Rory had a thing going on. Zach was absolutely certain that my first daughter was Rory's daughter, which not even possible. But yeah, Roy and Dave became really good friends, and so that was really cool, and that's why we had him do the wedding, and that was really, really cool. But, weddings can be stressful, and I really did not spend that much money on it. I loved my dress that I got for $60 on eBay, and then we went out to the park because I thought that my dad had it reserved for the day of the wedding. I told him the day, I told him to reserve it, and I thought that he would definitely have it reserved. And so my mom talked me into going out there a day ahead of time. She's like, the weather's good. Let's go ahead and set up everything, get the chairs set up, and we were putting bows on the chairs that I got from Everything's a Dollar Tree, like this big old thing of ribbon that I was able to wrap around and put bows on all the chairs. It's like really pretty and really cheap, y'all. So I put up all the decorations and everything, and then we go out there the day of the wedding, and there's like a bunch of bikers out there, and they're about to have a wedding, and they're like using my stuff for their wedding, and I'm just like, what's going on here? And they're like, oh, it's our day for the wedding. And I was like, no, it's my day for the wedding. And so we ended up having to go to the offices, my mom and I, to see what's going on. Are we double booked? What's happening here? And literally nobody was booked on that day. Nobody. And so I'd go to my dad, and I was like, no, because I was like, no, I know that my dad booked us. I know that my dad booked us. And no, he did not. He did not. He thought that it's free and you don't have to book. Luckily, the biker people thought that too. So nobody was booked that day. If they were booked, then we would have had to leave, you know? But since nobody was booked today, the park manager, he looked out and he goes, well, whose decorations are those? I say, whoever's decorations it is, that's who gets to have the wedding. And I was like, that's me. And so I was like so happy. But, and the bikers, they weren't that upset, you know, because I was like, maybe we can work out a thing. Y'all want to have it in the morning? I can have it in the afternoon. You know, my people are arriving at 2. How can we do this? You know, but they were like, no, you know what? It's fine. We're going to go off to the cliff over here. And I was like, okay, you know, y'all enjoy your wedding. They were like, you enjoy your, yeah. I did my own hair, my own makeup, and I was pregnant with Dave's baby, obviously, and my plan was to go through with the wedding, have the wedding, and then after the wedding, you know, send out my thank you notes, and we're having a baby announcement, you know, which is ridiculous because I have a toddler and I have a baby already, but whatever. I got an off-white dress. I didn't do white, but it was off-white, and it was pretty much white, but it was off-white. Anyway, oh my goodness, but I didn't factor in the fact that Dave's mom, Dave is pretty much her only kid. Well, she ends up getting pregnant. But anyway, she had tried for years, but anyway, Dave's mom, I didn't factor in that this is her first grandchild, and she is so excited. And I mean, me and her got along so well. I liked her so well. And he had a really good relationship with his mother too. It was really good. But I did not factor in that she is so excited. So literally, while I'm getting ready and stuff, she's like going around telling the whole wedding party about how she's excited that I'm pregnant with Dave's kid. So, yeah, that did not work out. I should have let her know that it was supposed to be a secret for a minute. But, oh well, it was fine. And so I was doing my hair and makeup. My sister, she got delayed. You know, she was one of my bridesmaids. And, you know, things were running late. And it was getting closer to 4 whenever the wedding was supposed to be at 2. And I was preparing to get ready to walk down the aisle. And Dave's best man was his stepfather, which he doesn't really get along with. He wanted it to be his best friend, but his best friend's like, I don't think I can make it. He did make it, but so we ended up being his stepfather. And his stepfather literally comes up to me and says, can we get a move on this? Because some of us have other things to do today. And I got so mad, y'all. I wanted to delay the wedding for another hour. Just because he said that. I was so angry. I was just like, I was so cool about everything, y'all. I was just going with the flow. Everything was so wonderful until like that moment, you know, like it's okay. My sister's going to get here. I know she will. Everything's going to be fine. I love my cake. I love everything. Everything's just so perfect. I can't believe it that the bikers didn't want to fight. That's so awesome. And you want me to get the show on the road? You know what? You know, I mean, I was so angry. And then my dad grabs me and we start walking down the aisle and he's just like, so you're pregnant, huh? That's what everybody's saying. And that's whenever I figure out that Dave's mother is going around telling everybody I'm pregnant. And I'm just like, well, yeah. Oh my goodness. And then as soon as we get through, we walk around this barn thing. And as soon as we get to where the people can see us, my mom is holding my toddler and my baby, and my toddler runs to me. She goes, Mommy! And she like runs to me and she's like holding my hand down the aisle, which was sweet. And then we get up there and she's just with me the whole entire time. And she gets under my dress, y'all. And all I'm wearing is just lingerie stuff under my dress, you know? And she just starts tugging on my dress. I'm like trying to hold it up. It had stripes, you know? But oh my gosh, my toddler gets under my dress the whole entire time I'm up there and tugging at my dress. It was just like, couldn't believe my mom did not hold on to her, but you know, it's all good. She would have cried and screamed for me, and that's okay. I would rather her be with me, you know? So, I mean, it was us. It was our life that we were beginning, and we we had the wedding, then we had the reception, which was really, really nice. And they were trying to get him drunk, but literally, we had to go straight from the wedding to the U-Haul and get back to Colorado because he had, I think, 18 hours, like 20 hours to check in and, you know, be done with his leave and get ready to go to war. So, yeah, there you guys go. That was my wedding. That's my wedding story. I love it. I just do. I do. I'm happy with it. I am. I wouldn't want to redo it, not for a million years, but I'll redo the honeymoon anytime. Anyway, that's another story for another webisode. Thank you guys for watching my story. Thank you for being here. I love you guys so much. You're the best. And as always, God bless you with love. That's all she got.